The signal flags wave merrily in the breeze as we slowly come to anchor in the beautiful Bay of Funchal, the principal port of the island of Madeira, which lies out in the Atlantic Ocean about 500 miles southwest of Portugal, to which it belongs.
Many of you heard of Madeira because of this guy behind me, Cristiano Ronaldo. But let's see what Madeira is all about. Let's go on the journey. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a sunny island of Madeira and its capital, Funchal. Funchal is the biggest town on the island with about 100,000 inhabitants. It is a modern cosmopolitan town with colonial architecture and has a lot to offer to any kind of a visitor. Over the centuries, Madeira has been known for many things, but perhaps the most famous product of this part of the world is the great footballer Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo is the most famous figure on the island, which is evident from different sites scattered across Funchal with his name on it, from museums and shops to monuments and even the airport. Me being a huge football fan, I had to pay my respect to one of the greatest to ever play the sport. Okay, now let's go explore Funchal. Starting at Funchal's first fortress dating back to 16th century, a beautiful palacio, the Sao Lourenço, I headed into the heart of the city, towards the monument of one of Madeira's fathers, a Portuguese explorer, João Zarco. It's located on the pedestrian Arriaga Street, which serves as a home to many restaurants, shops and street markets. Speaking of street markets, I came across a few stands with exotic mix of fruits, but at a hefty price. Probably I wouldn't buy stuff here again, as there are many affordable places in a close proximity from here. What you should try though is a cafe named Bolo do Caco that makes traditional Madeira bread. It is a short walk from here at very reasonable prices. To the east of Zarco's monument, you can find one of the oldest cathedrals founded by King Manuel I. It is a Gothic-style church with Moorish influence. I got here during some celebratory proceedings and did not want to intervene much, so I had a quick glimpse inside, watched a local band perform, and headed east towards Zona Velha, or the Old Town, where Funchal's art district can be found. I am a big fan of murals and street art in general, and Rua de Santa Maria had plenty of it. It's worth mentioning that historically this was a bit of a rough neighborhood, avoided by tourists, but in 2010 things started to change in a good direction. Supported by government's restoration project providing painting supplies, now this is a home to many local artists' works. By the way, the project name was The Art of Open Doors, as you can see many of the murals painted on the actual doors here. As a result of this project, the neighborhood came to life, and many great restaurants, bars, stores and galleries popped up in this area. Not surprisingly, the neighborhood became very popular among tourists, and my recommendation is to come here in the morning to fully enjoy the art and take quality photos, as around noon the streets of the art district get very busy with tourists, as well as blocked by outside patios of the local restaurants. The art district ends at Baherinha Cafe, where you can grab a cup of coffee before continuing your journey around Funchal. I headed towards Funchal's very famous yellow building by the sea. This is Sao Tiago Fort, built in 1614. It protected the island from French and British buccaneers. Today, it is a gathering spot for locals who use its base as a beach, and the fortress itself has been converted into a contemporary art museum of Funchal. Make sure to take a walk along Funchal's Harbourfront. Located 15 minutes from the city center, it offers a great experience from breathtaking views of the sea, which, by the way, you can experience from one of the restaurants scattered along the street, to Madeira's wine museum with a beautiful lounge. There is so much more about Funchal than what was covered so far, and we will revisit it in my next episode of Madeira series. Funchal was my base point from which I started all my trips around the island, and therefore I had a few opportunities to explore it in more depth. But for now, my first impression of Funchal were very positive, a safe and clean town that takes real pride in itself. I finished off my day exploring Funchal by walking along its harbor among colorful fishing boats and refreshing ocean breeze. And now that touristy stuff is under our belts, let's talk about my real mission on this island.
Madeira is a relatively big island, and my goal is to go from different villages across the island to see their similarities and differences, as well as going right into the heart of the island and checking the nature, like climbing the mountains, doing a few hikes. From what I heard, it's amazing views, and hopefully the weather is nice and I'm lucky enough to fully enjoy and explore what Madeira has to offer.
Madeira is located in the Atlantic Ocean and it is the autonomous region of Portugal. However, it is actually located closer to the African continent at 520 kilometers off the coast of Morocco. We are beginning with covering the western part of the island, starting at Funchal and finishing at the village of Santana. Now that we are on the same page, if you like my content, I kindly ask you to subscribe to my channel and let's get started. The next morning, I started heading west, towards a small village of Câmara de Lobos. Câmara de Lobos is located on the southern coast of Madeira, west of Funchal, and it is considered a suburb of the island's capital. It is a charming fishing village known for its hard-working fishermen and a picturesque harbor. It smells of seaweed, fish, and engine oil, which add to the charm of this beautiful village. The colorful settings of Câmara's Bay inspired Winston Churchill to paint its harbor and in turn made the village famous. This history is well respected and embraced by the locals, as you can find many tributes to Churchill across the village. Here's a photo of Sir Winston Churchill painting the harbor, and here's his final product. Câmara de Lobos is worth a stopover for its picturesque and photogenic harbor, especially on a sunny day. The green cliffs and colorful fishing boats scattered across the bay will make your photos look very Instagrammable.
This is the highest cliff in Europe at 580 meters. They have also installed a glass floor here, which gives that adrenaline kick when you stop on it. The views are pretty incredible too. You can see Funchal to the left of me, you can see the mountains to the right of me. I would definitely recommend this quick stop if you're going to the west of the island. Definitely worth stopping here for 5 to 15 minutes, just enjoy the views.
Further west is a coastal settlement of Ribeira Brava, which lies at the mouth of the river from which it got its name. Ribeira Brava is a home to many banana plantations. Located about 17 kilometers from Funchal, this area was once inhabited by merchants. Agricultural products from the north were transported here through the river and into the sea, eventually making its way to Funchal. Old artifacts that were used in production of different goods are scattered across the town. The municipality has a cultural heritage sites such as Ribeira Brava Parish Church, Sao Vicente Fort, and Madeira's Ethnographic Museum. Here you can also find the old house of the municipality's founder, Francisco Correa. To understand Madeira's historical and cultural identity, Ribeira Brava is a good stopover, and once finished with educational part, make your way down to the beach through banana corridors and very steep streets.
I honestly never gone in such a steep road. This is ridiculous.
Winding road leads from Ribeira Brava to a beautiful port town of Ponta do Sol. Filled with whitewashed houses with orange roofs, Ponta do Sol historically has been a commercial getaway to the western part of the island. The foundation of the town dates back to 15th century, when it became a port for sugarcane and communal center for the inhabitants of the region. Today, town's main source of income is service industry, particularly tourism.
This is a charming little town that at the beginning resembled Greece a little bit, but as I got down to the water, I see the colors of the buildings. It has its own character, it has nice private beach, a restaurant strip, and I think it would be very, very enjoyable to spend a day or two here. They have all the necessities, they have very nice hotels here, and the views are obviously incredible.
The name Ponta do Sol means a sun point, and it implies the region where you'll find more of the sun throughout the year than in any other part of the island. Ironically, at the time of my shooting it was a bit cloudy, but it doesn't take from the fact that Ponta do Sol serves as a great beach resort spot with breathtaking views. My next stop was a small town of Calheta. Despite also being a beach town, Calheta offers a unique opportunity to experience the old days of sugarcane and rum production. Engenho da Calheta factory still uses an old equipment to keep the tradition going. There's also a small museum with old pictures and machinery used to process sugarcane in Madeira. Everywhere there is a strong smell of alcohol, and along with old machinery, the experience here takes you back to the beginnings of Industrial Revolution. Only for about 2 months of the year people actually work here, and it is usually during the harvest time, between March and May. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to catch the operations, but what I did have a chance to do is to try some of the factory products.
Lunchtime, so I'm trying 12-year-old rum. This drink is Poncha, which is very sweet, alcoholic, particular to Madeira kind of drink. It was recommended that I try this. This is the sugarcane juice that they make at the factory here, and I bought a little honey just to try it at home. Delicious, very sweet, but very, very particular taste, very unique taste. And the poncha. Oh wow, this one is very strong, very sweet, but I feel like if I have 2 or 3 glasses of this, my day will be over. And rum. Very good, very dry, very woody, I would say. I really like it.
After a short break at Calheta's sugar mill and rum factory, I headed towards the westernmost point of Madeira Island. Farol do Ponta do Pargo is an active lighthouse built in 1920s, and today it serves as an indicator of island's westernmost point. A short stop for a checkmark and the views, and I headed towards the northern coast of Madeira. The drive to my next destination, a parish of Porto Moniz, lied through eucalyptus forest, and the smell of its trees contributed to an unforgettable driving experience here. But before reaching Porto Moniz, I had to stop for a very interesting site around the civil parish of Achada da Cruz. A unique cable car ride can be taken from here. To be honest with you, I wasn't planning on actually taking the ride, but curiosity and adrenaline have taken over.
So this is the steepest teleférico in Europe. I'm going down. I'm kind of scared of heights, but might as well go. This is scary. And this is like halfway. So I'm at the bottom now, and it's an interesting experience because for me personally, I'm scared of heights a little bit, and I have a little bit of claustrophobia. So being locked up in a small box like that on a 500-meter height with the windshield that's shaking this teleférico, it's a bit uncomfortable, let's put it that way, but the views are incredible, and for €3 round trip, definitely worth it. Why not? Let's fight those phobias, I guess.
After getting my adrenaline fix, I reached the northernmost settlement of Porto Moniz. There was only few places such as this that had enough space to build a functional settlement here back in the days. In the early 16th century, a Portuguese Muniz managed his lands here given to him by the king. In addition to an old fortress, Madeira's aquarium are main attractions here, or at least that's what I thought initially. This region comprises of towering mountains, rugged scenery, and is dominated by powerful Atlantic Ocean. Just like in case with Azores, previously covered on my channel, Madeira suffers from its volcanic origins when it comes to beaches and swimming. However, here in Porto Moniz an alternative solution was found. The unique lava pools, which are filled up by the rising tide, provide warm and safe waters for bathing. These pools were created from the lava flow of now extinct volcanoes, and today they are rightfully regarded as the best attraction of Porto Moniz. And it is the reason why you should definitely come here. About 10 kilometers southeast of Porto Moniz, a small town of Seixal can be located. Mostly known for its black sand beaches, Seixal is also a home to Madeira's wine. Dozens of neat vineyard terraces are scattered along the hills around the town. Seixal's fertile soil helps producing one of the finest wines in Madeira. Whether you're looking for a great beach or wine tasting experience, Seixal would be your place to go to. Further east of Seixal, among abundant forest scattered across green hills made of volcanic rock, lies a small parish of Sao Vicente. In the heart of Sao Vicente, the indigenous garden covering an area of approximately 2,000 square meters can be found. I personally came here with the hope to see its famous caves, but due to COVID restrictions they were closed, and in reality they should look something like this. One of the most famous symbols of Sao Vicente is the picturesque chapel of Capellinha de Nossa Senhora de Fatima. Located on the hill and overlooking the town, it is arguably one of the best viewpoints you can find on the island. Finally, I've reached my final destination, a beautiful village of Santana. Characterized by its small thatched triangular houses, built of natural stone and thatched with straw, Santana is a must visit. I came here in the evening with no people in my sight, which gave me a unique opportunity to wander around the village and fully enjoy its unmatched beauty.
It took me one full day to cover the western part of the island, everything from top to bottom. Finishing the day at this beautiful village of Santana with the traditional houses. Very, very nice scenery here. I'm very glad I'm finishing my day off here. For tomorrow, I'm planning exploring the other part of the island, which is the eastern part of the island. And then also I have something planned in terms of hiking. I'm gonna go in the middle of the island and try to walk some mountains, do some hikes. And for today, I'm done.